Let's go over the solutions to the fractions and decimals test. In a multiple choice here, it says which of them following are not equivalent. Right, the only one that can't be cancelled down to 3/2 is this one here. 3 ones are 3 and 2 is 5. All the others can be reduced down to 3/2. Okay, converting the mixed number. 6 2s are 12 and 5 17. So the reciprocal or the inverse is 6/17. The mixed number equivalent, 9.47, that's 0.47 is 47 out of 100. So it's D. Smallest decimal value is C. Okay, let's have a look at the short answer section. Now, there's each worth 2 marks. So you've got to show a bit of working out, some bit of working out, how you get the answer. The answer is worth 1 mark. If you want 2 marks, you've got to show a little bit of how you got it. So this is divided by 7, and this is divided by 10. Okay, for the working out, right, each of these is worth 2 marks. You've got each of those is worth 2 marks, so you need to show some working out as well as the answer. And notice that I've laid it out clearly. Here's the lowest common denominator, and then I've added it. And then the last line of my clear working out is the answer. Right, answer the question, show the working out clearly, and you can see here, lowest common denominator, 21, and then subtract them across and you get 25/21, and that's 1 and 4, 24/21. Here, the lowest common denominator is 8. They both go into 8. So this goes twice, so whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. Twice 9 is 18, and once 11 is 11, and that becomes 7/8. Notice that it's clear, and the last line of the working out is the answer, and I'm using the lines, not squashing it up. Lowest common denominator, 20, so you've got that multiplied by 4, and this multiplied by 5, and you get 81/20, and it's 4 and 1/20. Here, appropriate rules to divide, multiply, or divide. So I've done here, cross cancel down. 3 goes into that 3 times, goes into itself once. So 7 times 1 over 3 times 5, 7/15. Here, convert it to a mixed number, and then you invert and multiply. I am invert and multiply the second fraction. And that's what I've done, and then I've cross-cancelled here, here and here. So 1 times 4 is 4, and 1 times 3 is 3, and that becomes 1 and 1/3. Again, clearly laid out, and the last line shows the answer. Here I've laid it out in the place value that it should be, the number columns, and then decimal point fixed first, and then I add it around it. Same here, decimal point fixed first, and then I've subtracted around it, normal. Here the decimal point is fixed last, multiplying, decimal point is fixed last, so I do the multiplying, and then fix the decimal places, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so that becomes 25.308. This shifting the decimal point 3 places, okay, so it's here, it goes 1, 2, 3, and it goes to there, 3 places. Right, multiply both sides by 10, dividing to make this a whole number, make the divisor a whole number. So that goes across one place, so it goes across one place on here. So it goes to here, then I fix the decimal point, and then I divide around it. And that's my answer. It's fairly clear, well laid out. And here, divided by 100, the decimal point goes 2 places to the left, so it goes across, right? 1, 2, so it's come across 1, 2, and it goes there, 0.0228. Let's move on to the next page. Convert the following decimals to fractions in their simplest form. The 85/100, that can be cancelled down to 17/20. This one here, 5 and 12 hundredths, 512/100, so you've got 5 512 over 100, that's a mixed number or an improper fraction, and that can be cancelled down to 128 over 25. Right, 65 out of 100, you multiply them both by 5, that becomes 65 out of 100, which is 0.65. Now this one here, you're going to divide 5 by 8. So it's 5 and the decimal point is here, keep it above itself, that's a whole number. So there we're going to divide it out. 8 won't go into that, so that's your 0, right? With 5 over, 6 8s are 48, 2 over, and then right into 40, 6 8s, 48, 2 over, into 20 twice. Sorry, what have I said? No, go again. It goes there, into 50, it goes 6 times and 2 over. Into 20, it goes 2 and 4 over, and 8 5s are 40. So 0.625. Apologies for my muddling up there. This is 11, this is 9 divided by 11. Okay, 9, I put my decimal point and then do a normal division sum. And notice that it's a repeated pattern of 0.81. It goes 8 times and it goes once, and it goes 8 times and it goes once, right, with 9 over. So we here, 81, 0.81 with a line above it. When I do the same here, divide 2 by 3, divide 2 by 3, there's my decimal point, and this won't go, it goes 6 times, 2 over, 20, 6 times, 2 over, 6 times, 2 over, so that's a recurring decimal, and I just put a point above that. 3 decimal places, I have a look at the fourth one, round it off to 3 decimal places, I look at the fourth one, and I see that it's below 5, so therefore I just drop it off. This one here, the fourth place, is above 5, that becomes 10, that becomes 7, so 2.570. The recurring pattern here is 451, 451, 451, 451, so the line should be above 451. The recurring pattern here is the 6, so we've got a dot above the single digit above the 6, which shows that it recurs. Problem solving. Okay, looking at the organised cake stall, and we see that it's just a straight addition sum. They started with 9 whole cakes. They sold 2 and a quarter, and they sold 4 5/8 at lunchtime. So it's a mixed number. Convert it to a mixed number. Lowest common denominator is 8. So when I multiply them out, 2 9s are 18, right? And 37, 1 times 37 is 37. It's 55 on 8. They sold 6 and 7/8 cakes. I've just added them. Just an addition sum. Then 9 minus 55 over 8, which is what this is. 9 minus 6 and 7/8. And I do it here, lowest common denominator is 8. This, of course, is over 1. So that goes 8 times. So that's 8 9s are 72 minus 55. 17 over 8. 2 1/8 cakes left over. Notice I've shown the working out clearly, and then I've answered the question. How many cakes were sold altogether? Answered it. How many were left over at the end of the day? Answered it. The cake stall raised $150 in total. They plan to donate 2/3 of. 2/3 of means multiply. 2/3 times 150 could be over 1. That goes into itself once and goes into that 50 times, becomes 2 times 50. So $100 donation. Again, working out shown, last line of the working out, which is clear, is the answer. Step by step by step. That's what you should be doing. And this last one here, area equals length times width. So it's a multiplying sum, a decimal multiplying sum. So I ignore the decimal point until last. 2.1 times 0.5. 5 times that becomes 10, and then I've got a 0 here. So I add them up and I get 105. I count 1, 2 decimal places, and here's the decimal point goes in there. 2 decimal places in the question, 2 in the answer. And don't forget the metres squared. Otherwise it's a measure of length. I didn't take any marks off, but an area measure has to have a square or a cubic for a volume, and so on. There you go.